Hello and welcome to the second part of our series of lectures entitled Pharaonic Egypt, the Nourishing Sap of African Languages and Cultures. Today we are going to make the comparison between ancient Egyptian and other languages such as the Wolof language as a paradigm. The Wolof language is a West African language and is spoken mainly in Senegal by the vast majority of people in Gambia and also in Mauritania, and four other languages, including Arabic, Hebrew, Akkadian, that language which was spoken in Mesopotamia, probably in the current region of today Syria, uh, and a variant dialect of Berber, which is called Tamanshek. This is spoken in the northern part of Burkina Faso. So we come back to speak about the reason which motivate such a choice. This comparison will be made at the level of the core vocabulary. The core vocabulary was defined by the American linguist Swadesh. At the beginning, it was a list of about 200 words that express the immediate experience, words related to senses such as nose, the mouth, neck, the eye, the ear, etc., or personal pronouns such as you, we, I, etc. The hypothesis behind this is that any languages express these ideas, this data autonomously without having to appeal to other language, as without having to borrow this word from other languages. The original corpus was of 200 words and will be gradually cleansed or cleaned from all words that had a geographical, cultural, or climatic connotation. Words like snow, mountain, etc. Uh, at the end, the list will be reduced to a core of 100 words, and that's the list we are using here. So the idea behind this list is of Swadesh is that given every language is supposed to express this notion independently of others, percentage or high percentage of semantically or phonetically uh, identical words mean also that these languages are strongly related. A high percentage of cognates, we say in technical terms, because as we have said, at this level, there is very low probability of linguistic borrowing. And empirical researches have also proven this because if you take, for example, the case of English, what perhaps some do not know, English is a language that has borrowed a great deal of its general vocabulary from other languages, particularly from French. It is uh, estimated that the percentage of linguistic borrowings in English from French is over 50% from the general vocabulary. But if we consider the core vocabulary, this percentage is very low and below 6%. And other empirical researches have come to corroborate this hypothesis too. Now, why the choice of the language that we choose to compare here with ancient Egyptian? The Semitic languages, why we have chosen Arabic and Hebrew and Berber dialect and Akkadian, it is to make out of them a control group while comparing ancient Egyptian with the Wolof languages. The Wolof language, because as you know, certainly know, it is accepted and generally accepted and admired that at least in the Western academic circle, but also in uh, so most African academic circles, that the Egyptian is classified in the group of language called Afro-Asiatic languages. It take a little bit of history to explain this, because this group of language is made of several hundred languages, including Semitic languages, Arabic, Hebrew, etc. There are also a great deal of other languages, dead languages, from language from East Africa, Northeast Africa, Somali, Hausa to uh, Berber languages, etc. These languages are supposed to be related to ancient Egyptian. This is was what I call a linguistic mess, because it is really a great intellectual mess. Behind this linguistic group, in fact, there are very few valid linguistic arguments. Uh, why? Because we know it was in the 19th centuries in that a German ethnologist named Meinhof had made this classification, had created this linguistic group out of purely racist uh, and racial criteria. Yeah, but he calls this group Hamito-Semitic, as Meinhof started from the following postulate: the ancient Egyptian and Berbers and certain people of East Africa, like Somali, Amaris, etc., as a people mainly of lighter skin complexion, were closer to Semite Arabs and Hebrews, and therefore also closer to Caucasian people, to white people, European peoples. And he uh, saw that these people were superior to the Negro people, to the other African uh, people. So this was completely motivated racist argument, which you have nothing to do in linguistic classification. It is admitted is our well-established principle in at least today in, in the comparative methodology, that this at the level of linguistic classification, ethnic, racial, geographical, typological arguments have nothing to do there. They are not relevant. So in the 20th century, uh, when people realized that these arguments were not no more uh, tenable, that they were completely racist argument on which this so-called linguistic classification has been based, the terminology was merely changed. It was no longer, as you can see, Hamito-Semitic, but Afro-Asiatic, by maintaining the same set of languages. And from then on, they only start looking for linguistic arguments. See, and as the Wolof proverb says, if the imagination, if the spirits got out looking for dead woods, it brings back the bond that it likes. How can one who is a little bit informed, even more, a little bit informed, take such an approach seriously? But unfortunately, we Africans also continue, or the majority of us continue to rely on this classification uh, as if it was an oracle prophecy or something like that. Yeah. This That's the reason why we choose this group of Semitic and Berber languages as a control group, in order to better show that when we look at this core vocabulary, you will see that there is no relevant matching. You will see that these Semitic languages that are said to be so related to the Egyptian language are in fact not, at least not to the extent the Wolof language and other African languages are. And this is also not really a new insight in historical linguistics. We know that uh, someone like Alan Gardiner, a great Egyptologist, English Egyptologist, one of the greatest, in my opinion, knower of the Egyptian language, who wrote a reference uh, work named Egyptian Grammar, say it already in 1927. So Gardiner said Egyptians differs from all Semitic tongues a good deal, more than any one of them differs from any other. And at least until its relationship to the African languages is more closely defined, Egyptian must certainly be classified as standing outside the Semitic group. This is really clear. And recently also, American linguist Ruth Kramer wrote in 2012 in a review dedicated to the Afro-Asiatic researches that ancient Egyptian is not a Semitic language, despite the fact that it continues to be classified in the same group of languages. She says Egyptian and Semitic differ along fundamental lines, and I think we have to take care because the words have the meaning, like as I like to say, including different pronominal systems. Semitic lacks the equivalent of the dependent pronouns, different approaches to verbal conjugation, prefix in Semitic and suffix in Egyptian, and different ways of treating adverbial predicates, etc. The same was said in the conclusion of the famous colloquium of Cairo. No? It was said that despite cultural contact and linguistic borrowing, that the Egyptian was not a Semitic language, and that it was perfectly normal and necessary to find its relatives in and parents and cousins in Africa. Uh, the same is true of Professor Obenga, who rejected vigorously the so-called Afroasiatic group, and he calls it even an intellectual might. We will show it later, uh, and if you see as the previous author, Ruth Kramer, even say that if you take the level of the core vocabulary, the common words between uh, ancient Egyptian and a language as Arabic are no more than 6 or 7 really more or less sure common word. Now, before deeping in diver, I want to say a little more word uh, that linguistic is a empirical science, and what matters are facts and not theoretical principles. If I think that if the facts don't meet with your theory, you have to change the theory rather than changing the fact, because you cannot change the fact. No? And what we are seeing here are facts. It's not theory. There are facts, and this fact matters. All right. I don't want to go into more details because it would be a somewhat academical dispute. So now let's turn our attention to this fact we are showing you. Here, and this is the first part of this list, of this Swadesh list. The first word is all. You see, here in Egyptian, the first column is Egyptian, the second is Wolof, and so on, Hebrew, Arabic, etc. Also, all is in Egyptian is NEP, also NB. Uh, the A is merely convention because hieroglyphic don't write vowels, and the Egyptologists have made a convention of uh, inserting first always a, but this is not really a A. Also, you have here NEP, and you have every, all or every, and you have in Wolof, NEP, you see. And here you can see that the B in Old Egyptian, the final B is uh, in Wolof the final P. Also, this is almost the same consonant, only the first one is B, and in Wolof it is P. This is a linguistic phenomenon which is known. And you see, in Hebrew you have kol. This had nothing to do with the Egyptian word or the Wolof word. In Arabic you have kul. In Akkadian you have kalu. In Tamanshag you have kul. And also you can see here that these Semitic languages, Arabic, Hebrew, and Akkadian, are nearly the same word, kol, kal, kalu. And the same is true between Egyptian and Wolof. We have also uh, here the nearly the same word. So you see here bark, you see here in Egyptian chassid, and you have in Wolof chassid, the same word for bark, and in Hebrew, in Arabic, or in Akkadian, in all the Semitic language, you have something very different. Chlip, chlilf, sirpu, nothing to do with Old Egyptian. The same is true here also for belly. In Egyptian, you have het, the belly, the body. You have also het, the generation in Egyptian, and you have het, the same word in Wolof, which means the body, but the social body, the generation, because the het is the the generation. This is all the relative from the sides of the father. This is what you say in Wolof het. This is the same word because you find here in Egyptian the the belly, but also the generation. And see also here uh, in the Semitic languages, you see here baton in Hebrew, batin, libu. These also words are related in the Semitic languages. Also, Berber is not a Semitic language; it's just totally different language. And but you see here that these also are related, uh, as well as Egyptian and Wolof here are related. Here also you have the word big, for example, art, yeah, and in Wolof, Yatu, you can see the correspondence, and in Arabic and Hebrew, Kabir, etc. No matching. For bird, you have here we have different names of bird in ancient Egyptian, and you can see exactly the same word nearly in Wolof. You have Ba in ancient Egyptian. This is a sacred bird which symbolize life forces. No? And you have in Wolof Ba, Banjoli, the same word. You have also here in ancient in Egyptian Peter, pigeon. So is a bird also from hills bird. And you have here in Wolof Petach, the same word. You have here in Egyptian Sabu, uh, bird, a kind of bird. You have also to know that this translation from ancient Egyptian this is not really 100% exact translation. No? In some cases, is also nearly guesses from Egyptologists. Now you see here a bird, a kind of bird. You have here in Wolof sap. This is the crying, a bird crying, the crying of a bird. No? And you can see here you have no matching, whether in Arabic uh, or in nor in Hebrew or uh, Akkadian. Here also you have in to bite, you have in Egyptian matin, something one could bite, matte, the scorpion, and you have in Wolof the same word, matte, mor, also to bite. In Arabic and Hebrew, you have Adda, Nasa, etc. This is nothing to do. And the famous word black, yeah, in Egyptian, from which Kem is black, to be black, from which word the the name of ancient Egyptian Kemet or the Kamit, etc., derives, and also the name of the Egyptians themselves, Kemtu, the blacks, of the Egyptian derives. You have here Kem, black, to be black. You have here in Wolof Ham, also black, uh, charcoal black. Yeah. You have here Cook in Egyptian darkness. In Wolof, here Cook is also darkness, because Cook is a cover, what we call in Wolof grammatic cover, and it's a term which reinforces the idea of being black, very, very, very black. And you see here, you have nothing in Arabic, Aswad, etc., but Sahor, etc., but you see nothing to do with ancient Egyptian. Also, the same word for black, Japit. This is a pigment, a black pigment. In Wolof, you have or the residue of something which has burned. You have also the same word, Japit, in Wolof, the residue of something which has burned. You know, here, blood, deseret, deseret in Egyptian, you have in Wolof here, deret, in Arabic and also dam, etc. But you can see in the Semitic languages, you can see also the correspondence between them and the correspondence between ancient Egyptian and Wolof. But what's really astonishing is also you have not only a semantic variant, but you have here also, like in black, the the meaning of this word blood nearly in all semantic variants. You see here, cheret. This mean in Egyptian uh, uh, blood, also red blood, also red, which is nearly bloody. And you see here, chur. This also mean in Wolof, this is also a cover which is reinforcing the idea of being red. As a, when someone that honguchur, that says this is very red, blood red, you know. And here also you have for born, in Egyptian, you have in Wolof, yah, no? Yeah, and in the other, no matching. Here also you have in Egyptian for breast, you have menj. In Wolof, you have man, which means the maternal breast, the motherly breast, or the motherly lineage. In the other language, Semitic language, and in Berber, you have nothing. To burn, you have here in Egyptian tak, to cow, the flame, to stir up the fire. The same words in Wolof. Tak, to burn, hambe, to stir up the fire, and see in Hebrew, Bahar, in Arabic, Araka, nothing to do. So as here, claw, akka, the claw, uh, ik, to search with the fingernail, no? To steer with the fingernail, and you have in Wolof here, oka, to steer with the fingernail. No? And here in Arabic, mikhlabu, tofon, etc., nothing to do. So here also we have matching. You have to see to come. Ihu in Egyptian, Eu in Wolof, New in Arabic and Hebrew and etc. You see, there is nothing. And to die, you have to die here. Te, met, says to die. In Wolof, you have mut. Also, you have also the M and the T, which mean to be very, very, very quiet, absolutely silent, but you have also med, which is the cadaver, those corpse, the dead corpse. You see, uh, here you have a matching between Arabic and Arabic, mata and met. You can say that's matching, but uh, seeing that it's really so. Uh, these matching are so rare that you can say this it could be either borrowing or mere chance, because as you can see it's really very seldom. And here we have for duck abu or bao, the name of duck in ancient Egyptian. You have in Wolof bau, which means to bay or to bark for a duck. You have here hatch, which is a designation of Set as a Set, which is the prototype of the Satan of the other religion, like Islam or Christianism, because in ancient Egyptian mythology, it was a Set who brings evil in the world. Therefore, it is represented as a dog or as sometimes as a pig, etc., or a composite animal. But in this case, as a duck, hach, and you see, hach means in Wolof exactly duck. And in the other languages, in Arabic, kalb, kelef, kalbu, etc., no matching. You see here, drink, sur, which means to drink. Uh, but we have to remark that these meaning are not also in every case very sure, 100% sure, because here you have the determinant of the man who is taking in arm to the mouth. This means that it's something to do with eating or drinking. But here it is translated as to drink, and you have also in Wolof the exact word sur, which means, which means to be full of food, to be full. And but we know that this phenomenon also is known in linguistics. This is what we call shift of meaning uh, from uh, to drink and to be full of food. And this is quite known also. So it takes an example of French gourmand. Maybe gourmand was originally designated as a very good dish, a very tasty dish, and it has evaluated to means the one who is fond of food, etc. This is known. And here you have neniu, a drink, and you have here the real word for to drink in Wolof, nan. You see the matching, nan, nenu, or nani, which means to go for a drink. And in the other language also no matching. Here you have also dry. So for dry you have wesser, which means in to be dry. In Wolof you have weseng, which means the same thing. You have hem, which means dry, arid. In Wolof you have hem, which means burnt, charcoal. And in Arabic and Hebrew you have not nothing similar. Here it's the same. You have earth here in Egyptian tar. Uh, Field. No? You have in Wolof tar, which means a fluted field. No? But you have also in Wolof tam, which means a field like in Egyptian. And if you see here, if you remark, you can see that the tar of the Egyptian, you have also the determinant of rain. This means rain. No? And in Wolof you have here tar, which means fluted field, as fluted by rain, actually. Here also you have the word to eat in all semantic variants. You find this word in Wolof. You have wonderme, which means in Egyptian to eat, but or to eat eagerly, and you have in Wolof the same, to eat eagerly, one. You have here to eat very eagerly, so to say. In Wolof, it means also the same. Uh, to eat fast and eagerly. You have here hunt in Egyptian, which means to give something to eat to an animal. The same thing, hunt in Wolof mean to give something to eat to an animal. Also, you have here uh, nearly same word for eye. Yeah. So here also you have in Egyptian yap, piece of meat, and you have yap in Wolof, meat, the same word. You have, and as I say, you can see all semantic variants of the same word which is present in the Wolof language. You can see here youth, another term for uh, meat, and you can see here in Wolof doof. Doof in Wolof is means fat meat. You can you can also see here wagyu in Egyptian, which means raw meat, and in Wolof you have wajie, which still means to grill meat. And as you see here in uh, Semitic language, and there is nothing similar. The same is true for to fly. No? The same is true for food. You can see here in Egyptian rich footprint, and you see in Wolof rich, which means to trace something with the foot. You can see here dig. The same also word formation process with the reduplication of the radical dig. You see here to trample on, and in Wolof dig, it is the fact of trampling on. The same word, the same meaning. Dig see to come to always to trample on the footprint, but in Wolof you see dig see means to come and trample on. In of course in Arabic and the other languages you have nothing similar. You have also kni in Egyptian, which means pat. In Wolof, you have pad, which means to throw something, someone on the ground with at the knee, to give him a knee, to throw him with a knee, which means pad. You must pad, which means here in Egyptian also to kneel, and pat exactly here the same meaning as in Wolof, as to throw someone to the ground. And you see, in the other languages, nothing. Full in Egyptian, to be full, mach. In Wolof, you have muk, which means to be full onto the top. Yes, these are the facts. These are the facts. We cannot ignore them. Here also very amazing. So what the verb to give in all its variants in Wolof, to give, imi, which means in Egyptian give, inni, which means to bring. And you see in Wolof you have indi, which means bring, give, bring. You have also here another variants of the same word, ji, which means to give, to set down, etc. Joch, which mean in Wolof, joch mean to give. Yeah. And also reji, which mean to set down, to give, to set down. And you have in Wolof reje, which is also a cover, which mean to set down something violently. You see, as I told you, you can see all the variants of the same word in Wolof. It's really remarkable. And in the other language, as ever, you have nothing similar. You have good here, never, to mean good, which mean good, which mean pretty, nice. In all of you mean you have the rafet, which mean pretty, nice. Bu nefer, it mean in in Egyptian, which means in practicing a nice thing and a good action. And you have the same here in Wolof, burafet, which means practicing something nice, something, etc. Also, here is the same thing for the same word, grease or oil. You see here, you have Egyptian tech, which means to be fat, something fat, or the jidda, and you see, you have in Wolof all this, the two words also come in Wolof. You have dag, so you see here, this is also a known phenomenon, linguistic phenomenon. The D, which is here in Wolof, evaluates day, no? Dag, der, dag in Wolof, which means butter, and you have digi in Wolof, it's mean also very something very fat, to be very fat. All the same variants in Wolof. You have here ach, which means to be green, or the sahach, which means to let something become green, and sach in Wolof, which means something which going also to becoming green. And see, as you can see here in Arabic or Hebrew, nothing to do. Yaroch, etc., Akhdar, etc., nothing to do with Egyptian and Wolof. Also here for air, the air, you have here jar, in Egyptian jar, which means braids. And in Wolof, you have jart, which is a tool for detangling the airs. You have here ibu in Egyptian, which means when someone undoes his hair as a sign of mourning. And you have jubu in Wolof, which is a hairstyle for kids, and which is also totemic hairstyles. And as I told you, you can see all the variant of these. All the variants are coming in Wolof. Ja, Jart, Ibu, Jubu. You can see here also Sekem, Sekem in Wolof. If you see this question mark, this means that the translation is not sure. That's why Egyptologists are setting here a question mark. It has something to do with air, with air. Also, the translation is here loss of airs and baldness. You have this nearly the same word in Wolof, Sikkim, which means the beard. And also here you see hand. You see the sign of the hand. This is ah. In Wolof you have also m, which means in Wolof take. Yeah, in reaching the hand you say take. This is am. Now look also here. Always hand. You have here am, which means to grab with the hand in Egyptian. You have, as we said, am, which means take, with also the outstretched hand. You have here head in Egyptian, tip, in Wolof, which means head. In Wolof, you have bob, you know. And you have here hair in Egyptian, which is very interesting for face. And in Wolof, you have for face, you have harkanam, which is a composed word. But you will never ever understand why this word har in harkanam if you don't make the relation with ancient Egyptian. You cannot understand why in this composed word uh, is har, and you see this. You can see very uh, clearly that har here is a vestige of the ancient Egyptian word. It is a archaism, as we say, and this is also another proof of what we said. You cannot really understand language such as Wolof, which is so much related to ancient Egyptian, if you don't make this relation. And the same is valid for uh, um, language, European language. You can take the French language or Roman language, generally Italian, and so you cannot really understand their evolution if you don't make the relation with Latin. Also, here another example, we can take another example very randomly. Here you have dip, horn, eh? And dip in Wolof too, which means horn blow or to stab someone. Eh? You have here nga, which means to kill in Egyptian. You have ngat, which means to knock someone down or to kill very violently someone. Same here. You have know, to know. In Egyptian, you have am, to know, to learn. In Wolof, you have ham, which means to know. Uh, You have here leaf, leaf, and as I say, all the variants of the same word. Leaf, lotus leaf, ha. Lotus leaf means ha. You have in Wolof hop, which means leaf. You have here gap, the dictionary, the Egyptian dictionary, or the Egyptian dictionary, they translate it with the leaf of some uh, plant. Yeah? But if you make the relation with Wolof, you see garap, which means tree, garap, garap. Here also to go somewhat quickly, we can take some random example. You see here ow, which means land, or the cow, which means the eight, voice eight, the pitch, voice pitch. You see here the same word cow, cow, which means eight, or the voice pitch, the same in Wolof. Awi, which means to be big, to be lang. Yawi, which means something which is very, very lang, which is very, very big. Here you have for Laos, you have cut, which means Laos, but also the little thing, the little thing. Kot, we see that kot is in Wolof also a cover, which means something very, very, very little. When someone in Wolof sagt, li kot, you give me something very, very, very small, very little. This is what it mean. Also, we have also uh, seen with meat, all the variant of this word meat. Here also you can take randomly some other examples. For neck you have bind in Egyptian, you have bat in Wolof, band, bat. You have also here nose for nose, you have fench in Egyptian, you have phone in Wolof, which means to sniff. To smell. You have nos in Egyptian, which is translated with to make something in the nose, and you have already you have the same in all of nos, the same word, which means to make something, and a ring, to make a ring in the nose, the same word with the same meaning. Here also something very interesting which come about it later. Not this particle, not negation, not bu in Egyptian. This bu is a negation particle, and you have exactly in one of the same negation particle. If I say bunyu dem or the bumu dem, that it doesn't go. You know, Newut here. You can nearly you can understand it really. Newut is something which does not exist. And in Wolof, you have, when you say Newut, this is also something that does not exist with the same meaning. You have here uh, just in Egyptian, this is a person, and this is also a vestige in the Wolof language, Josam. This is the third person of singular, which also means this is a possessive. No? Josam. It's really a word which is very seldom. You can if you say Josam, connected Josam, no? Which means this is also a possessive in the third person of singular. And others here also again very striking examples. You have here with Sa, which means in Egyptian man, person. In Wolof, you have also the same word Sa, which means man, and which is this word is very productive in both languages. You have in Wolof Sanjambur, it means a man from Zinjambur, Sa Daga, Sangone, etc. In both languages, it is used to make compose words. You have here rain for rain. You have here in Egyptian hot, which means rain, which means also floods. In Wolof, you have hus, which means to go through the rain. In Egyptian, which means flood. An example is the flood of the Niles. In Wolof, you also wame, which means floods, which means a very big rain. For red, you have seen it already. You have also here road in Egyptian, what, road. In Wolof, you have watit, which means the track, the trail. Uh, you have here top what, which is translated with the beginning of a road. If you say in Wolof top what it sees, it means uh, to to follow a track, to follow a trail. You know? This is understandable in Wolof. You have here also R, which means in Egyptian is translated with the measure of a road, to measure a road, and jar, which means to go through in Wolof. Also, we can multiply really the example alongside all the core vocabulary. Here also some other instructive examples. It takes a verb to say all the variants of this verb. You see here wah, which is translated by to say something bad about someone. Same word is in Wolof wah, which means to say, but also means also to say something bad about someone. When you say that somebody is a wahkat, it means somebody who is accustomed to say something bad about people. We have here weddi, which is also translated by to say, and weddi. We have weddi, the same word in Wolof, which means to contradict. We have here net, which means to ask. In Wolof, we have lach, you see, the variation from N and L, which is a phenomenon which is very well known in linguistic. You have Jui here, which means to call someone. We have Joe in Wolof, which means to call someone. And here you can see for yourself Arabic Khala, etc. Nothing to do with Egyptian. And here also you can see for seed, you see Gep, which is the deity of earth, no? You see, and we have Gop, which is also a field. This is what means the Wolof word for Gop, no? Gop, which is to harvest. You know, you have also both words in Egyptian deity of earth, but also the field, and you have Gop in Wolof. Now, how can you find the history of this word in Wolof if you don't take in account Egyptian? Uh, you have here in Egyptian Ji, which is translated by cereals, and we know that in Wolof Ji mean to sows, and obviously you can also correct translation made by Egyptologists if you take in account the Wolof language. No, to uh, you have here sati, which means to spread, which is translated by to spread, but soti also which means in Wolof to spread, and also you can also see that the failing voyelles here, which is not written in Egyptian, is certainly O soti, because soti means in Wolof to spread the same word. Well, here, likewise, we can take inam, which means the skin, yaram. You have also the same nearly in Wolof. We have already seen example of small kot. Here you see Kamal small cut and cut in Wolof, it means very small quantity of something. Here also you see Sahar, which is translated by to extinguish for flame. You have also here in Wolof Sahar, which means the smoke. And if you take in account Wolof, you can see that the failing vowels here are R, also Sahar. Here also we have the same thing to stand. Achau, this is deity, which is means the one who is standing. You have in Wolof exactly the same word Tachau, which means to stand. Yeah. You have here stone. This is all very interesting. Stone, the stone, which means here hair, which is translated here by the royal tomb. And hair, we know hair is in Wolof stone. Ra, these very important words, the sun in Egyptian, ancient Egyptian religion. If you see here, Ra is a symbol of God, the sun of symbol of God, because we may come later to speak again about these things, because the ancient Egyptians didn't believe that that the sun was God, but the sun was a symbol of God. This is, has to be said. Ra, you have here in Wolof, you have Rai, as a Rait. This is a feminine counterpart of Ra. You have Ra, the masculine and feminine counterpart, Rait, and in Wolof you have also this word in the same semantical field, Rai, ne Rai. This is a vivid light flashing, someone like that. But this word is, in my opinion, very, very interesting. Jant. You have the exact same word, Jant, which is the divine boat in ancient Egyptian, which symbolize the sun, because as you know that the ancient Egyptian symbolize the sun as a boat which is traveling in the other world. uh, every day, by going down in the other world and reappearing on the next morning on the horizon, and so, because it is why it is symbolized by a boat, this divine boat. And this word Jant is the same in Wolof and means exactly the sun. You see, how can you understand what is really behind this word Jant in Wolof if you don't take in account classic African language like Egyptian? You cannot, and you can see also everything you are losing if you don't do this. This is very important. All the world view of the religion, all the Weltanschauung, which is under this concept. Here also we see we have foretell, for example, which means watit in Egyptian, which means tail of an animal, is translated by the tail of an animal, and generally the tail of a leopard, which was hanging on the royal dress. And you see the same word in Wolof, watit, which means the the prints of something which is on the ground. The print of these tails, what is the same word. You have also for this demonstrative pronoun pa in Egyptian, as I say, the p in Wolof is mostly be in Wolof, pa, which means that. In Wolof also you have ba, or the be, which means that one, etc. We will come more in details about this part of the grammatic. Again, these very important pronouns, these common pronouns between Egyptian and Wolof. We have here pu, which, pu in Wolof, it's also mean which. We come back to this later. You have this p in Egyptian, as I told you, you can see the correspondence of p with b, b in Wolof, this one, in Wolof. You have for tongue, nos. You have nos in Egyptian, which mean also tongue, but also the speech. Yeah? And nos in Wolof, which means to nasalize someone with quasi speaking with the nose, to nasalize. You see, the same word. Here also the famous tree, you see here, apt, they translated up with a tree, and you have in Wolof garap, which means the tree, and here gapt, the leaf of a plant. Also, you see the correspondence with garap, the tree. We will come back about all this later. Also, we'll keep diver in the following lectures. You will see that this relationship is alongside all the vocabulary. You see, to walk, nemat, to go, to walk, etc. Nemot in Wolof, which means to go very suddenly, Nemot. This is what I mean. Here exactly the same thing. You have hunt, which means to go, and we have khand. This is really to go very quickly, to go through very quickly. You see. Voilà. Euh, pour l'eau, on reviendra sur ça dans d'autres. Regardez ici, tour, verset, nour, eau en général, l'océan. On sait que nour en Wolof, c'est s'enfoncer dans l'eau, etc. Chotef, eau d'irrigation, etc. Also, we have here for the word to go, demi, you see, demi, to go, like in the expression demi hetero, to go to the sea. You have in Wolof, you have dem, which means to go. You have in Coptic nem, as you can see, Wolof even closer to Egyptian here. You have nem in Coptic to go away, and in Wolof you have also dem to go away. For warm, also here all the variants, all the variation of semantic variants of this word. You have ta, to be warm. You have in Wolof the same word tang, something warm. Jir, you have jir in Egyptian, which means the fire. And as I told you, this proverb is exists still in Wolof, but have lost their syntactical independence, so to say, because they are used as a kind of adverb in order to reinforce the meaning of some term. Jir in Wolof means something very, very hot. You have here kham, to become, which is translate to become warm, and you have kham, which is something you has burnt in Wolof. Here also in the same semantic field for water, you have here bau, which is humidity in Egyptian. You have bau in Egyptian, in Wolof, which means to flow freely for water. Interesting is also, you have also in Wolof this ancient ceremony, what we call baunan. This is for a traditional ceremony for calling for rain. This is we will be come later on this. You can see here for the pronouns in Wolof for we know in Wolof. All these pronouns you can come later uh, again about this. Also here, all these pronouns is present in all of two, woo, boo, me in Egyptian, me, etc. Which one, etc., etc. And you can see here this term inamu, which is translated in Egyptian. Where is she or where is he inamu? né? You can in Wolof you say if you say anamu, it means where is he, etc., etc. So as you can see, the this relationship in this field in the core vocabulary is really really massive. It's really very very striking. This is facts no one can ignore, no? And you have mixed calculation. It's about uh, 75% of common cognates of related word. And as I told you, if you take Arabic or Hebrew or these and other Semitic languages which are said to be related with Egyptian, you have not even 8 words. And this is common. I give you this quote from this American linguist wrote, which says you have not more than so more or less safe common terms between Arabic and Egyptian, about six, seven, or not more. Now let's take a closer look to the facts given by grammar. You know, here the suffix conjugation, which is the same form of suffix conjugation between Wolof and Egyptian, and we have here given this paradigm of a verb, the verb kef, which means to seize, to grab, which is the same in Wolof as in Egyptian with the same meaning. And in Copt also you have kech. You see also here Wolof is closer to Egyptian because in Wolof it is kef to say is. In Egyptian it is kef. In Coptic it is kech. This paradigm, this example was given by Cheikh Anta Diop. You know, the same uh, form of suffix conjugation. You see, you have kefi in Egyptian, which means I says. eh? The suffix the e is after the radical of this verb. In Egypt, in Copt you have keche. In Wolof you have kefna. eh? In the second singular person we have kefek, but we have mke, which means in Egyptian to you or to you. No? Kefek in Coptic, in Wolof, kefnga, you see, this nka in Wolof is nga. But also very interesting, but because this was one of the things which was very striking, this example given by Shanta Job in the Cairo colloquium, this third person of singular, because we know that in Egyptian you have feminine and masculine in this conjugation. He or the she, no, kafef, he says, kafes, she says. But in Wolof, even if you don't have, or you haven't anymore this declination, this form, this mark of singular and plural, we have this form of kafef. Kafef or a kafes, it means in Wolof one says, and we can clearly see that this form cannot be explained in Wolof as long as you don't take in account this Egyptian form. This is really a vestige. This is an archaism, as we say in Wolof. It has survived in Wolof by losing its original grammatical meaning. And it means in Wolof kafef or kafes. This is what we call as a one says or on this indefinite form. In first person plural, we have kafne, kafhen in Coptic, and kafnanu in Wolof, kafchen, kafnien in Wolof, kafsen, kafnanu. but we know also that sen, this third person plural, sen in Wolof has there, is also there. Here the formation of the past tense is the same form of the same way to express this past tense in Wolof by adding the n morpheme n to the verb. In Egyptian, you will have kaf plus this morpheme n, which express the past. No? In Wolof, you have also the same thing. No? In Egyptian, actually, you have two ways of expressing this past by adding the morpheme n or by adding this also morpheme when. This is a when, w, n, and you have also the very same form in Wolof. You have, if you want to say in Wolof, I, I, uh, I says, also this past tense, you will say kafon, kafon na. You see, here is an example with another verb to go, demon na. This is the past tense of to go. I was gone, so to say. And you can also, but in the negation of this verb, I did not go. You will say demuma won. You see, the other morpheme of past is also coming here in this negative form. I also already talk about the pronouns, which is very striking. This really nearly the same pronoun. You have pu, this. In Wolof, you have bu, this. Pui, already this in Egyptian, but more precise. But you have in Wolof, you have bui also mean the one who is. Somebody who is going is bui them. Yeah? You see here, also here, pan, pen. You have in Wolof bane, this one over there, etc., etc. The same, really the same pronoun. Eh? In plural also you have here ne, nen, also these guys there, or these guys over there. Yeah, you have in Wolof also the same thing. Nya, nyane, nyene, nye, etc. The same. Also the same word formation process by reduplicating the nominal or verbal radical. You see here, you have, for example, dig dig, which mean in Egyptian to trample, dig dig in Wolof, which mean the footprints. As a dig in Wolof is to trample, and dig dig the footprints. The same process. Cut to 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 shiver, and you have also in Wolof koti, same, the same word. Guess in Egyptian to order something. In Wolof, gis, which means world view, or a point of view. The same. You have here khap, here you have also khap in Wolof, which means moose. Really the same. Also, the word order in the phrase. I have taken here a sentence out of papyrus. This is the Paris papyrus des Knapsatz. In out of a work of Broch, one Egyptologist. I have given the reference. I also, if you want to go to deep dive, I will recommend you my book, which is unfortunately only for now in French. But let us take this phrase in Egyptian. You have you na what you see here you na r na because the matter mat, which is translated by I have come to complete the mat. The mat, as you say, this is a very philosophical concept in old Egyptian meanings, justice, etc., etc. This is another topic on which we will come back later. Or you can see this, if you take the word order, you see in Wolof, ñëw na, I have come. You can see, in fact, the correspondence. Ngir, in order to, here in Egyptian, in order to, ngir. Matar in Egyptian, matal, and we know that R and L in Egyptian are in some case uh, uh, variants. Ne? You can, in some case, you can say matar or the matal, etc. Matal to complete in all of the same meaning, the same, nearly the same word, the same meaning, the same order in the phrase mat and in Wolof mat. I have come to complete the mat. This is really more than astonishing. As you see also the negation morpheme, I have talked already about that. Bu, this is the same morpheme in Egyptian in Wolof. Uh, when I say this is imperative form, and I say to in Wolof, bul wax, don't talk, this is bu, the same morpheme. Also here you have the very same suffix, suffix of residue suffix. If you see here hasab, hasab is in Egyptian to measure, to calculate, and hasabit is this result of a calculation. You have the same thing here. The suffix it is the suffix of residue also in Wolof. You see here, rach, to know, rachet, which means in all of the addition, in Egyptian, the addition, you can completely rach to uh, also with the same meaning almost, and rachet, the same thing. You know, this is, these are facts. No? You have here sati in Egyptian to spread, to ejaculate, etc. In Wolof, you have the same thing, soti, which means to spread, and sotit, you can say the spread, or the ejaculation, or something like that. The same suffixes. I already also here we have other suffixes in te or the f, and you see and you know that these are very strong marks of a very strong relationship between languages, the pronoun, the suffix, etc. These are the same kind of derivation. I think it would be interesting also for further researches to deep dive in these topics, in the derivation, word formation processes between ancient Egyptian and Wolof and maybe other African languages. You see here, Sotef, fruit water, you have also in Wolof Sotef. This F is also a very productive suffix in Wolof, you know, also the same. Now, uh, as you have seen, I think we have given you somewhat deeper insight in this. Unfortunately, a little bit long, but I think the topic is it is necessary in order to understand these things, and it could have been even more longer. But if you are interested in all these things, I would recommend you my book, and also naturally the very important work of Professor Cheikh Anta Diop, the genetic relationship between ancient Egyptian and African languages. There are also work of Professor Obinga, a common origin of Egyptian and African languages. We have in this module, I've taken the paradigm of Wolof and also the Semitic languages to in order to show you this all this mystification. Really, I cannot tell it otherwise. This is a real great mystification of Afro-Asiatic languages. Uh, I think this is a kind for me to, as we say in French, de noyer le poisson dans l'eau, no? You know, to draw the fish in the water, no? To sow doubts and uncertainty in the spirits. No? But this has nothing. You can see clearly that if you take a wall of language compared to ancient Egyptian and the so-called uh, languages which are related to ancient Egyptian, may it be Semitic languages as Hebrew or Arabic or Berber languages. So there is really no way of comparing them. Anyway, I thank you for your attention, and it would naturally please me if you would subscribe to this channel. Unfortunately, due to my professional obligation, I don't have much time to consecrate to all these things, although I, as I would like to do, but I will try my best as in order to stay informed about our work. Please subscribe and please also share all this with others. Thank you and bye bye.